Is this thing on? Hey, there you are. Hey, what if I told you there was a way to activate the Phatasm Fogger that's inside this ghost trap by pressing the foot pedal switch? Yeah, stick around.
Oh my God, the Scoleri brothers!
Hey, what's up, gang? Welcome back to the Scoleri Brothers YouTube channel. My name is Craig from Right Ghost Props. Today, I want to show you some basic operations of the Phatasm Fogger. This here is number 5, and I also want to show you how to install something I've never seen before, and I kind of came up with this design myself, is a remote trap pedal switch. And what this will do is mount inside the HASLAB foot pedal itself and remotely activate the Phatasm Fogger. I'm sure once I show you how to use this, people are going to start using this design and coming up with it themselves. But pretty much what it is a on-off switch with a custom 3D printed base, a secondary transmitter. The first transmitter is going to be the remote key fob. The secondary transmitter is going to be right here, and it's all self-powered by 2 AAA batteries in this housing. I can show you again right here. Here's the housing with 2 AAAs. This is a remote transmitter, which is secondary to the actual key fob transmitter. And then on the end is just a simple on-off switch on a 3D printed base. Now there's a hole in the center of this because in the bottom of the trap pedal itself, once I take this apart and show you, it'll all make sense. So let's get cracking, we'll start tearing this apart. But first let me show you the Phatasm Fogger. This is number 5 right here. Flip it around so you can see. Number 5, we have an on-off switch. If you let this sit for a little while and you want to turn it back on, sometimes you need to cycle it twice in order to wake the board inside. There is a USB-C charging cable right here, and the kit does come with a USB-C to USB-A charging adapter, so you can plug it into whatever you want. On the inside, we'll remove the magnetic cover, and it's got magnets all around, and it just snaps back on pretty easily. We'll put that down here. The inside is fairly laid out, fairly clean. I tried to go with a very professional look, so everything was kind of laid out in its own spots, not a lot of extra wiring, and it's modular, so if something does break, because things do break with e-cigs, you know, these do wear out the elements, so you can replace parts individually pretty easily. Inside we have the fan, the air pump, the rechargeable battery, its own separate compartment down here, the e-cig, the heater, and then all the electronics over on this side. So the first thing I want to show you is how to take out the e-cig element so you can refill it with more fog plasm. Now in order to do that, this whole area here is on a slide up mechanism, so we can slide it up and we can remove the stovepipe. And this piece here is just a diverter. I call it the stovepipe because it looks like a stovepipe, and it goes on the end of the e-cig to force the smoke up and out. In order to take off the e-cig element, gently hold the back with this hand and just unscrew from the heated base itself. Once you have this off, the e-cig element, you can choose to refill it, replace it. These do wear out over time. They are a consumable item because, you know, coils do burn up. But in order to fill it, you unscrew the top and you fill through the side. Never fill through the center because then you'll be putting liquid down the center where the airflow's got to come. So make sure you fill through the side and just fill the cylinder. Screw this back on. It's nice and tight. We can clean up any of the extra liquid. Sometimes they do squirt out a little bit when you're screwing it back on. And then you can go ahead, screw it back into the base inside the fogger unit itself. And we'll slide that here. We'll put the stovepipe back in with the port facing up towards the fan, and that just drops right back in place there. We can put our cover back on. Now in order to operate it, the switch is already on. You can use the remote trigger, just like that. Or this piece is going to go inside the pedal itself with another on-off switch. So same thing. This is just another wireless transmitter, so you can pair multiple transmitters to the receiver module inside the fogger. So that's what we did. And you got your bottle of fog roasted mallow juice. Now this will be in every kit as well. So you get the fogger, you get the remote activation switch, You get the on-off key fob and the USB-C charging cable. And in order to take apart the pedal, you need to take off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then there's 2 screws, 7 and 8, underneath these foot pedals, or foot pads, I should say. Now these can be tricky to get off. They spin a little bit, but you just can't get a grip on them. So in order to take those off, I found if you take some masking tape here, tear off a few inches of it, and wrap it around the base of that pedal nub there. And then just kind of twist and pinch and pull. Comes right out. And you'll do that with the second one too. We'll just set that aside. Same thing over here as well. We're just gonna wrap the masking tape, twist and pull. Those come right out. Now we have access to all the screws. So we're gonna go ahead and unscrew those right now. All right, so we've got all screws out. We can go ahead and pop the cover off. I found it's just easy. You push up by this fake metal stud on the bottom, which does come out, by the way. So we're just gonna put that off to the side here. Pull the whole bottom plate off. So now the inside and the bottom plate side by side. What we're gonna focus on first is this panel here, the large panel next to the relay. You can pop this right on out. Take this piece, and I'm just gonna unscrew the cover plate just to make it easier to see what I'm doing here. So this piece here is the inner side that goes here, and it goes in one way. You see the little holes in the bottom here? They kind of, focus on that there, holes in the bottom here. It just kind of goes in here, and the holes lock in down in here. So first thing, we're gonna take the remote on-off switch, and it's gonna come with 3M tape on the top. We're gonna peel that 3M tape and take the long end without the tape and put it in the bottom and push it in to the inside. And we'll get that 3M tape to seat. And this is just a couple AAA batteries that go in here. And now we can put this piece back inside here. Lock it in. All right, move the fogger over here for a minute. And next, I'm just gonna undo the switch itself from the harness here. I'm gonna tuck the rest of the harness down in here. And on the bottom of the switch pedal here, or I should say the bottom of the foot pedal, I keep using the wrong terminology. I'm nervous, guys, can't you tell? I'm nervous a little bit here. All right, we're gonna take this custom printed and made switch. There's a little nub in the bottom down here. You can kind of see it. And this has a hole in the bottom here. We're gonna make the wires face out the back. Push it down onto that base there. So now the switch is underneath. And we're gonna wrap the wire this way, keeping it down through the hole here, goes out and around. Then we can take the connector, plug it back in. Oh, fogger started going because the switch was in the on position. And we can just put it all back together. Be careful not to pinch the wiring. You may have to take a second to make sure the wiring goes straight through without getting pinched between the case. There we go. All right, so in a sense what this does is you activate the trap, smoke starts, deactivate the trap, and the smoke stops. All right, we'll go ahead, put this all back together. So when you want to swap out the batteries, they're now in the side here, the side panel, where you can put the cover plate back on and have access to the batteries for the remote powered switch. And again, on, off. And we'll go ahead and reassemble this real quick. All right, so now that we got everything all put back together on the bench, let me grab my trap here. There's the HASLAB Ghost Trap. Here is the foot pedal. I'm just gonna connect the wiring to it, the aviation connector, the reverse aviation connector if you were wondering. And we're gonna flip the switch on here, and we're gonna go into service mode with just one tap underneath the handle. We'll put the Phatasm Fogger in the trap, straight down, and we'll make sure that is turned on. We'll close it out of service mode. So to test it, what we're gonna do is just activate the trap. Fogger turns on, trap is trapping, and yep, it's blowing here. We'll close it back up. And if you still wanted more fog, that wasn't enough for you, you can just activate it with the remote key fob and do it both ways. You have the option to go foot pedal to activate, or key fob to activate. And if you don't want the smoke to operate, you can just turn it off on the inside of the pedal itself, and then it's just normal operations as is, just like that. So that's pretty much it. I'm sure once this video is posted, everybody's gonna kind of jump on the bandwagon a little bit with the remote pedal switch now that I kind of showed you the secret sauce. But every one of my Phatasm Foggers is gonna come with one of these remote pedal switches. That's what I just showed you how to install it here on the bottom. You'll get a bottle of fog plasma, you'll get the USB-C cable, and some instructions. So I really appreciate everybody. Thank you everybody that's already purchased one. I'm hoping to have more out in, it's tough to say, but maybe early to mid-January as of right now. But thanks again for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video.
Oh my God, the Scoleri brothers!